Hello and welcome to Platos Cave. That's right, coming to you from Australia, the land down under, for Evolution.radio. That's who we are. That's where we are broadcasting from. Excuse me, I'm still. I guess it's pneumonia. Who knows? Nothing as refreshing as pneumonia. Today is Thursday, the 24th of April 2025. The station is home to ideas, which everybody loves, more or less, I think. Some people love them, some people love them less, some more. And you can catch us on the air, on the line all the time, and on your smart device. So grab an app to listen anywhere or listen at home on a Grace Table Television Radio. But more importantly, this is Listener Funded Radio. So if you can, please do donate. Very important. No one else will, only the listeners. That's how it is. No government organizations, no corporations, no one but you. So that would be fantastic. Any kind of currency is good. And before we start broadcasting at Enga, we would like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land from which we broadcast. And for Dave.
Yes, the Dark and John.
Thank you, sir. And for myself, of course, the direct people. Okie dokie. Here we go. No, excuse me. I'm going to take a sip of water. And I can't see you, my friend. Are you on camera?
Yeah, I am.
No, you're not.
I am.
I should be able to see you. I can't. That's okay. Odd. If anybody is listening live or watching us at the same time, can you see if we're all on camera? Because I can only see myself. Excuse me. Like I said, I'm dying over here.
So which view do you have it in? Because I have it in what's called Together View.
I have all the views next to each other. And I'm using Skype, not Teams.
Oh, well, there you go.
No, that shouldn't make a difference because I could see you on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's all right.
That's all good.
What are you meant to do?
We'll get there somehow. Okay, now I can see you. Excellent. Okay, so where are we? We are in...
And I did nothing. There you go.
We are in full... No, I don't think you did. We are in full retreat. Well, not Dave and I so much as Mr. Trump. Why are we talking about him? Because something happened. And all the analysts, left and right, are saying the same thing. America blinked and is going back on its tariffs. And even on the Chinese, especially on the Chinese tariffs, apparently a whole bunch of people from Kmart right to Walmart and all the big retailers said to Mr. Trump, in 2 weeks' time, our shelves will be empty.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can't afford to bring those things in anymore because no one will buy them. And what's been happening, and this is interesting, China is not taking Trump's call. It's like, we don't talk to you. What do I talk to you for? The trade war, and I don't care how you try to spin it, and I've seen people to spin it. America lost the trade war. China knows, and I knew this, and many other people knew this, China doesn't need America. China doesn't need America. America is uniquely vulnerable. And the first time the tariffs came down last week, the exposure vector were the bonds, the treasury bonds. We talked about that before. The treasury bonds are really the governmental IOUs that the Federal Reserve sells. A lot of people think it's a good idea to buy them. In fact, as long-term as say security investments, 10, 20, 30 years, they're pretty good. Governments were selling them off, and especially Japan. That led to the first tariff reduction, let's call it. And now people are realizing, all the stuff we want to buy is made in China. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It really is. And if it can't come from China, Dave, where will it come from?
Nowhere? this is the same. We have the same thing in Australia, but it's regarding green energy.
Nowhere.
Let's consider the two things together, right? So trade war, whatever the goal is to set up industry in the US. That's the goal, I suppose. Silly me for trying to work out what the game means, but there you go. And here the game is to survive on renewable resources, ironically, without having them all in place first before you turn off your coal. And then we get warnings that, there won't be enough power. But I mean, there used to be enough power. How do we not have enough power? We've turned off things. Don't worry about it. So the way I see it, Mackie, is the standing up manufacturing in the US first until don't sever the vine you're on if you're Tarzan. You want to do the cell phone tower to tower handoff. You don't want to, who needs vines? I'm just going to cut it off. I don't have anything and I'm on the ground. So I know I've oversimplified it, but if you can understand how that process works, has this been the right way to go? Back to you in the studio.
So the answer is no. Just in case you're wondering, what we have seen is and this is, look, I've said it before and I'll say it again because it really bears saying again. Neither Donald Trump nor the people around him, which I find amazing because there's some people that actually should know what they're talking about. There's some, fairly accomplished people in his administration. There are. I mean, I'm not taking the mickey. I mean it. But they don't seem to understand what they did. Now, it might just be a case of blindly following the leader, right? Because they're thinking, well, he must know what he's doing.
Sure.
We shouldn't really, that shouldn't be our starting point, David. We really shouldn't. We shouldn't start with that assumption. But it's now clear that none of them had any idea what they were doing when they started with the tariffs. Okay? Tariffs are paid for by the country that imposes them. Okay? The consumers in the country, right, where the goods are imported into and then levied with tariffs, those are the guys paying for it. That's, in this case, America. And so, like, a massive flip-flop. I mean, Trump was saying, it was pretty tough before last week and the week before, China's going to come begging, blah, blah, blah. They made a mistake. They shouldn't have done what they did. I think Donald Trump thought that China would just roll over. I really think that's what he thought. And it didn't happen. And I've been to China. I've seen China, like not all of China, obviously, but when I went there, one thing became very clear to me. China doesn't need anybody. It is completely self-sufficient in many ways. And if need be, it can find markets elsewhere. And the Chinese, and this is really important, there are two things that you need to understand about the Chinese culture. Number one, China is a community culture. The individual doesn't count for much. It's all about community and family, right? That's why the party system works that's why they have 20-year plans, and that's why the people are falling in line, because it's about the community, not the individual. And number two, and that's the biggest one, it's about face. Now, what does that mean, face? In Asian culture, but Chinese culture specifically, it is very important to save face, which means you don't want to embarrass your trading partner. You don't want to make them look bad. You don't want to put them on the back foot. If any of those things happen, the reaction will be negative.
Yeah, they're alarm bells.
And that's exactly what Trump did, right? He tried to paint them as weak, called them peasants. Actually, J.D. Vance called them peasants. And it's the wrong approach. Now, to me, that clearly says, I don't understand the Asian culture. No, you don't have to if you don't want to. No one is forced to, is forcing anyone to understand anything. But as the American president with his administration trying to conduct a trade war, not understanding the psychology of your opponent, clearly has proven fatal. So Donald Trump did a complete backflip, right? He has, I think overall given up on massive tariffs. Will he maintain tariffs of 10%? Yeah, maybe he will. That's not going to, break the bank. But it will also not pay for his tax cuts, right? Because the tariffs, in his mind, he keeps talking about it. Before 1913, America didn't have an income tax. It had tariffs. Okay. Back then it made sense. It was a fairly new economy. Tariffs were protecting Native American industries trying to, grow and become competitive internationally. And, so, got to protect them with tariffs. And tariffs brought, good income. Because, certain things you just couldn't buy in America. You had to get them from overseas. So the government could make a lot of money. But then the income tax came in and sort of the tariffs were gotten rid of. And now for the last 80 years, we have had a very interconnected, multi-layered, completely codependent global trade culture, right? For the last 50 years, 60 years in anger, right? Corporations were encouraged to produce in the cheapest country possible. Supply chains were established, trade agreements were worked out, and it all worked more or less well. I mean, for the corporations, right? I mean, the first world got really, really cheap goods, and jobs were created in the third world, right? I mean, worker exploitation, notwithstanding, and it works. The corporations are making money, consumers get cheap goods, and the standard of living, albeit slowly, and with some cost to the workers, can be raised in third world countries. That's the model. But at the same time as he was destroying the international trade structure, he was also destroying his alliances, and that is damage that you can't just repair by taking back tariffs. That is something that might never be repaired, because Europe, Australia, and the rest of the world pretty much know that America is not going to come to their aid. Again, this is a different world now we inhabit. No matter what happens with the tariffs, right? This is now a different world. Interestingly enough, Donald Trump and his administration are withdrawing from the peace talks between Ukraine and Russia. Okay, they've already withdrawn their attendees. Like, the Americans are no longer attending the peace talks. That's it, full stop. But the American administration came forward with a few statements. The Ukraine has to give up Crimea and all the lands gained by Russia. That's essentially what the Ukrainians were asked to do. Go on, Dave.
And Russia says, I just want to freeze the line now.
Yeah.
And we'll keep what we've taken.
Yeah. And then we'll build up again in 10 years' time. We come back and take the rest. Thank you very much.
Long game.
Yeah, that's right. And the Ukraine says, no, thank you very much. What do we get?
Well, you get the fighting stopped.
Which you didn't start, to be fair. It's like the bully in the playground, punches you in the face, breaks your nose, takes your wallet, and the teacher goes, okay, why don't we just let the bully have your lunch money, okay? And we forget that he punched you in the face, and you just go. And you stand there going, what? What? Yeah, no, I think that's okay, right? Isn't that okay?
Sure. It's okay.
I don't know, and it came up on a few sites today again that Donald Trump will never release the Epstein files, and I agree, he won't. He won't, unless he can find a way to get his name off the lists, right? I don't think we're ever going to see anything Epstein related ever. Not ever.
I found something though.
Oh, go on.
No, I found something and I've shared it in the chat. And it's a link below the video too. And there's, I think it's page 1. Is it page 1? Yeah. And it says there's 258 pages deleted, and it refers to all the pages that aren't in it in the FOIA request. Like,
really?
yeah. And it says court sealing
Oh.
orders. This is from January. Yeah.
You're kidding.
So I saw a clip in the news of some people walking out of a court, and they were holding a very small folder. It wasn't even A4 sized, or letter if you're in America. It wasn't letter sized. It was smaller, and it probably had, I don't know, if I had to hazard a guess, 150 pages. So when I'm seeing this and it says, well, the total number of pages deleted is 258.
Oh my God.
And then you back out and go to part 2, and it says, oh, there's another 46 pages deleted. Then you go to part 3, and I'm just going to put that on middle screen. And then it says another 232 pages are deleted.
But let's be clear here. So I'm looking at the first page here of the first document. So
yes.
the first 6 pages.
The list of pages
5
deleted.
pages are everything that's been deleted, right?
That's right.
So that's all gone. But then you go into the document.
Yeah.
FBI, and then you get the pages that are left.
Yeah, that's right.
And they're 90% redacted.
I know, you can't read anything.
Yeah. Okay, I'll give you the synopsis. To request case be opened and assigned. Child prostitution, Jeffrey Epstein.
That's right.
Details. From March 2005 through February 2006, the Palm Beach County Police Department conducted an investigation involving the subjects Jeffrey Epstein.
That's it.
Date of birth redacted. Redacted. Date of birth redacted. Date of birth redacted. Redacted. Epstein. Redacted. Epstein. Redacted. 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 It is requested by SA Redacted that the above captioned case be opened and assigned.
Open. Yeah, that's right.
That's literally the first 2 pages of the things that. What is the point?
Go to page 9. It's
just delete the page. Oh, page 9. Oh, here we go. Oh my God.
Defendant. You get white male. That's pretty much it. From March 15th, 2005, it's the same thing. Conducted a sexual battery investigation involving Jeffrey Epstein. The facts are reported are as follows. Redacted, redacted, redacted. That's it. We don't even know who was sworn in. It just keeps going. Like it honestly, then you've got news clippings. Clippings.
This is page 22. Okay?
Oh, okay.
This is like an A4, so page 22.
Yeah.
And the only thing that is not redacted on this page, therefore, is Jeffrey Epstein, who at the time of these incidents was. That's the only thing that's content.
You've got to know who he is.
Oh my God!
I'm going back to our screen again. It's honestly, the link is below. Have a look for yourself because I'm so surprised. There's, where's the flight logs? Where's the list?
Oh my God!
It's all news stories.
The only thing they left, because they're in the public domain, are the news stories.
That's right.
They're just clippings that are attached here, but everything of substance pertaining to the investigation by the FBI, approved by. Redacted. Drafted by. Redacted.
Approved. Yeah, we can't even know who did it.
That's insane.
Yeah.
Case ID. Redacted.
We get the federal stamp. That's pretty good.
I'll be honest. I've looked at a lot of FOIA documents, right? And this is the most redacted I've ever seen. Because if they decide to release something, right, there's usually some informational value left. There's no information.
Funny. That's funny right there. Page 44 is the most complete, and it has 3 redactions.
Oh yeah, that's it. Wow. But it doesn't have any informational value. It's just the order.
No, that's right.
It's order sealing affidavit application for search warrant and related search warrant inventory and return. It's just really the search warrant. Laura Johnson was the circuit court judge who signed the search warrant. But they've redacted all the information about the investigators, detectives, investigators.
Right. Yep.
So I guess you can't contact them is probably the intention.
Yeah.
Dave, this is completely
It's great work, isn't it? Imagine if you were tasked with the redactions. And you notice on every page where there are redactions, there's codes on them. Like B6-4, B7C, Well, they were all referenced up in those pages deleted.
But it doesn't get any better.
You can see the reason for each of those redactions.
Yeah, but I'm looking here now at the next document. It's no better.
I know it's no better. It doesn't matter which one you open. And you can see, you can count. It says the first, the third, the fourth, fifth line. It says total deleted pages, and in this one, the second one is 46 pages that are no longer there.
Now, to be clear, this actually tells us a lot of things. It tells us that there are persons still around that in power and influence that would be affected by this negatively.
That's right.
That's number one. Number two, these people of power, influence, and means have enough pull still to affect those redactions.
Yeah.
Okay. And
see,
that means
for me that sounds like bought or owned.
Yes, 100%.
Or afraid.
100%. But it would also speak to the fact that the Epstein operation, I mean, such as it was, is probably still operating, albeit out of different locations, etc., etc. Because all the people that were taking advantage of his services, let's call it, are still there.
Yeah.
Pulling the strings, being the enablers for activities like this to continue to exist. These are the things we can learn from this. Dave, this is gold.
It is gold. So wait, I've got another one. So part 9. So if you're following this along and you've opened the link, go to part 9, and you'll see there's 574 pages redacted.
Deleted.
They're deleted. They're deleted. And once again, you'll see the code B7C and B7D. These must be, if I'm using some logic, either different groups that got together or different court sessions that got together, different internal governments or something like some department has decided when they got the papers, these were the items that need to be redacted.
So, to be clear, the document that part 9 that Dave just referred to has no content.
It's only a list of redactions. That's right.
574 pages that you and I are not allowed to see. I've seen UFO files that are, treasure troves of information in comparison to this. Wow.
Yeah, look. I'm going to admit that this is a lot of redaction, and this is from the FBI's own website, from the vault.
When was this done?
I can't find a date related to it. January 31st, 2020 is the release date of the last page, but that doesn't mean anything.
Normally, these documents come with release information and so forth. Normally,
that's right.
And hang on, but this doesn't.
The last page.
This is unusual, Dave.
On final, part 22.
Yeah, but it's unusual that there would be. Now, normally each of these 22 parts would have a release date associated with it.
Exactly right. Yep. Or a declassification date or something like that. They all have to be marked. Okay.
You're right. The release date was January 31st, 2020.
Remember, that was during the order that it is to be released, and it never got released. And in this situation, I don't know when it was. This was
during the handover.
Yeah.
No, hang on. That's not true.
Because it was 16 to 20. January.
Donald Trump was still in power here.
That's right. Because remember January 16th, right?
Yeah, exactly. Donald Trump was still around. But that was 2021.
Yeah.
So 2020, that was still in his administration, a year prior.
Mm-hmm.
So this happened on his watch. The deletions. I mean, if I were him, I would have done the same thing, to be honest with you. And then,
because imagine if what was supposed to be released was information on, well, let's just, I'm gonna park that in a cul-de-sac. What I'm interested here to really find out, I think the whole world needs to know, whatever it is that's in there, who, like, if I keep asking the same question, Mackie, slap me with a trap. Remember that old thing from IRC? Who has the tapes?
Russia.
Good. Just going to the island doesn't mean you're involved. It's like going to a Diddy party but leaving before midnight.
It's not good. It's not a good look.
It's not good.
But you could be innocent. I give you that, right? I mean, maybe you saw what was going on and you decided, yeah, look, that's not for me. I'm out of here. Thank you.
That's right.
Unless you go there every weekend and every time you say, oh yeah, I saw what was going on. It's not for me. And I'll go. Really? Every weekend? Yeah, just short-term memory. I can't remember.
Well, if you walk into a party and go, hey, how you doing? Yep, good to see you. And you're doing high fives all the way into the party, I think you've been there before.
You probably know. You're probably on the level with everybody else, thinking, yeah, I know what's happening. I dig it. So let me say this. His MAGA base, right, would never forgive him if Donald Trump were involved with any of the dealings that Epstein had with, underage girls, etc.,
mm-hmm.
Prostitution, sex slavery, etc., etc. Never. They would never forgive him. Because that was a very crucial point that they made against the Democrats. They said the Democrats, they're running all this stuff, the Pizzagate stuff. Remember that?
Yeah.
All these, and the truth is this: these networks exist. They exist. I mean, you can stand on your head. You don't have to like it, but the truth is that this stuff goes on, right? And I don't think your political affiliation has anything to do with whether or not you're taking part or not, right?
Yeah.
It's just a matter of personal preference as to how you want to spend your time. And if he were in it, because the thing is this: they used to hang out. They used to live quite near each other when Epstein was down in Florida, right? And even in New York, they used to hang out. I mean, Epstein was a shaker and mover, and Donald Trump wanted to be around shakers and movers, right? And it is clear to me that Putin has the files, has the videos. That's why Elon Musk had this unprecedented power in the White House. Mm-hmm. Which didn't really help him at all. He lost 70% of the share value of Tesla. Did you see that?
Yeah.
It's shocking, but that's neither here nor there. And Donald Trump, if he were found out, that would be the end of Donald Trump. Okay, no matter how he spins it, it's a lie, it's fake news. No. Okay, so is all of it or only what refers to you? I mean, which part of it is fake news, right? Is my question. If it were fake news,
good question.
Is it all of it?
Mm-hmm.
If it's all of it, then Epstein should never have been arrested. And he should never have gotten people to help him kill himself in his cell when he was on suicide watch.
And then there's the Prince Andrew interview.
It's not just that the people weren't watching him, the cameras were turned off. That's the thing. It's like, what? Short circuit.
The Prince Andrew interview, Mackie.
I don't sweat. It's a medical condition.
I've never been upstairs. How do you know that that's the upstairs room? I don't know.
They interviewed people that serviced. See, this is always where it falls down, right? Mm-hmm. These islands or houses, they have service personnel, right? And I watched this documentary where they interviewed quite a few people that were servicing the island, as in, we are now going to look after the gardens and bring you food and whatever. And these people said, no, we saw this guy here a lot with the young girls and that guy and the other guy and all the guys. Who's punching them? Good question. It's like in the olden days in Germany, if you belonged to a sort of like a fraternity, and there were fraternities that used to fence, right? And one of the highest marks of, I guess, mutual respect and accomplishment used to be a scar on the face.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's where your fencing partner would mark it. It was called a schmiss. And they were, especially in the military circles and in the higher nobility, they all had schmiss. They all had a schmiss or several even. And maybe this black eye club that Dave just put into the chat. Yeah, I don't know who punches him. I don't know, brother. I know Adam Sandler's not a skull and bone. He never went to Yale.
No.
But Kerry did.
Is it their influence?
Sorry?
Is it their influence?
Honestly, maybe.
Well, they didn't punch me, I'll tell you.
Yeah, don't move. Whack! Who knows? Who knows?
Look, it's doing the rounds again. And I remember when all of these famous people, and even Pope Francis, he's on the list.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Poor guy.
So,
by the way, I still think that J.D. Vance killed him.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I see that Prince Andrew is on the list as well.
Do you know? Yeah, he is. Do you know? I was watching a few things, commentators left and right,
mm-hmm.
and quite a few people, or even in the middle, have started talking about what we've been talking about regarding the Trump interview. And they're showing the Trump interview now in these last couple of days.
Which
we've
one?
been talking. Oh, the one where he says, "Yeah, I'll release the JFK files. I'll release the UFO files.
That's right. Yep.
I'll release the Epstein files."
Mm-hmm.
And they're all going to that now, like 4 weeks after we did.
Yeah.
Why aren't more people watching our stuff? We are way ahead of everybody else. Maybe because we can be. I don't know. Okay. We are way ahead. I just want to. If you're listening to this, you're way ahead of everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
I guarantee it. Okay, we have very sad lives, which leads us to analyze many things and read history books, which is sad thing, but it's the truth. So if you listen to this station and our shows, I guarantee you will be the best informed punters out there. And J.D. Vance, he did kill the Pope. Why? Well, the Pope didn't like Trump. He didn't like the wall. He didn't like any of the things they were doing. To the immigrants, etc., etc.
Mm-hmm.
He was in fact. You know what he did? Every week he would call the Gazan Christians. He would call them. How you doing? Not so good. And now that he's gone, they said, no, we really lost. Because you have to understand, Gaza is not full of Muslims. There are Christians in there, Catholics even, and those Catholics got a call from the Pope every week, personal call. Okay, that's what happened. That's not going to happen now, obviously. He's dead. He didn't like the wall. He didn't like a whole bunch of stuff that Trump was doing. He doesn't like what Putin is doing either. And so the CIA in the olden days, in the bad old days, in the Cold War days, would have a number of toxins and substances that would mimic heart attacks, aneurysms, strokes, etc. Okay. Now, by all accounts, he was getting better. He's out of the hospital. He's breathing on his own. And then he gets a stroke, quickly followed by a heart attack just after J.D. Vance sees him. I don't know. Color me crazy. But, yeah, hello. And they touched. J.D. Vance touched him. Did J.D. Vance deliver it knowingly? Whatever he did? I don't think so. Maybe, but I don't think so. But I do think that's what happened.
Remember, there's a Secret Service around all of the politicians. So,
oh yeah,
was there?
Good point.
If it was true, was there something else happening?
That's actually a really good point. Because I mean, that's the thing. It's they do have the Secret Service around them, constantly.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the thing. You can stand on your head, but absolutely. So look, what's going on right now is unprecedented. But for me, the most amusing thing is still the flip-flop from Donald Trump. I haven't seen the press secretary talk to it yet. Have you?
Oh, Levitt. Yeah.
Levitt.
I'm waiting for something to come out.
Yeah, and how? I really want to see. Yes, it's all part of the plan. Really? Yeah.
Well, it was the same as Biden's non-cognitive decline that everyone spoke about. And now, since he's not in power anymore, some people have been revisited and said, you said that he was fine. Would you say at the time that you had better cognitive skills than he did? And the person freezes, has a little chuckle, like, oh, that's impossible, and then declines to answer the question. It's very funny to watch it in hindsight. This is the same thing. Watching any politician sprout nonsense and then be questioned on it, I think it's really interesting to watch the backflip. It's like the Olympics, the floor work. How good are they at those backflips? How do they describe it? It's all political poetry is what it is.
Yes. It is. It's actually amazing to watch it all unravel, right? I mean, we make fun of politicians all the time, and I believe very firmly that there shouldn't be any career politicians, full stop, right? That's my opinion. You want to serve your country? I think you should. I think you should serve your country and then go back to whatever else you're doing in life. Okay, and then, so you don't get, there's no swamp in Washington. There's no generational influence even, right?
Yeah.
That doesn't exist. That's what you want, right?
Yeah.
It's like you want a fresh thing. Ideally, congressmen, see, the only position that is term limited is the president. That's it.
Right. Everyone else is embedded.
Yeah, Supreme Court, that's a lifetime position. Okay, once you're appointed. And Congress and Senate, you can be in there as long as people vote for you, right? You could have 10, 50, you can have 1,000 terms if you live that long, But and I think it really should be that in any country, really, there should be a term limit to what you can do, and you cannot own any shares or run any companies while you do it.
And you can't buy or sell any.
Correct. Can't do it.
Yeah. And you should, I think you should take all money out of it as well. They shouldn't receive any donations whatsoever.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, that is probably, and that's in any democracy. That is the biggest problem.
Just let me vomit into my bucket for a minute.
But yeah, well, you go ahead and finish your vomiting. But in any democracy, that is the biggest problem, that we have these money people. There you go. We're saying Dave's derriere. Very nice. We have. Is that your bucket?
Not on air, my friend. Not on air.
It's this World War II helmet. There you go. Getting ready. Drone strike imminent. Quick. He's got a helmet now. Hot dog. He's foiled our plans.
It's not World War II.
It's really.
It's an SAS. Well, they call it SAS, but
I have actually never seen anything like this in politics. Like this back and forth. The only level of incompetence that I've seen before in politics was George W. Bush Jr. Before 9/11, like as he was fumbling through his presidency, right?
Oh yeah.
He was pretty bad, but he had some really smart people around him. Now you might hate them, right? And they had an agenda, absolutely, but they knew what they wanted. There was Cheney, there was Rumsfeld, there was Powell, Rice. Yep. Now, you can love him or hate him, and I don't really love him. I like Powell, even though, he sort of lost some moral integrity in my mind. But the point is, you can love him or hate him, but one thing you can't do, you can't say they're stupid.
That's true. No,
they knew exactly.
Agenda rich.
Yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, completely, right? But also, you know what the agenda was, right? I mean, you had to be stupid not to see it. which of course led to Obama in the long run, and a bit of an outcry, etc., etc. But what we're seeing here is no agenda. There's no agenda. There's a couple of ideas, and I have to say, I'm sorry, but this is how the corporate world works. There are a couple of ideas, right? Cloud, AI,
data lake,
all the lakes.
GCS, there you go.
and this is the same.
I actually know someone that said all of those words in every meeting. Yeah,
I know, right? So you throw out tariffs. Everybody, make it, go, make it. And so tariffs is one, right? And the other one was immigration. Let's go. See, the thing is this: if you wanted to destroy the American economy, right, you have to ask yourself, what do I have to do? Okay, really quickly, I should get rid of the workforce. That's good. That's done. All the workforce is gone. All the illegal immigrants are gone that did all the jobs that no American wanted to do. Okay, that's 1. 2. Okay, maybe I should isolate America completely from all other trading partners, including our closest allies. In fact, the closest allies I should spit in the eye. That's good. Oh, look, that's what happened. What? It's the Putin playbook, baby. That's what we're looking at.
If there was a queue for all the partners to line up and just get slapped, that's what I feel like we've just been through. What's the queue for? It's got to be something good. There's heaps of people here.
Heaps.
And then slap.
And the rich, of course.
Thank you.
Yeah, but see, this is the thing, right? And again, I come back to the point we've made many times.
Mm-hmm.
Why does anybody think that a billionaire would ever do anything for you, the regular Joe and the regular Jane? Why do we think that a billionaire would help you fulfill your dreams? I don't understand. We have nothing in common with the billionaire class. There's about 2,500 of them in the world. We can't afford them anymore as a society, as a civilization. We can't, but there they are. They have nothing to do with you. They're so far beyond anything that you can imagine that it's laughable. Okay, I mean, let me put it this way: you might buy maybe if you're into it, a nice bottle of wine for your husband's, father's, brother's 50th birthday, and that bottle of wine might cost you, if you have the means, might cost you $1,000, right? Because that's expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and that's like a big thing for you. These guys, that's what they drink for breakfast, right? That's what they gargle with when they brush their teeth.
They clean the sink with it.
Yeah.
That $1,000 bottle. Yeah.
100%. I was in Singapore in the Marina Bay Sands shopping complex. There's Marina Bay Sands Hotel and Casino, and then across the road, but you can use air bridges or underground, there's the shopping mall, right? It's very nice, beautiful. And a lot of exclusive stores, and there's a liquor store in there. So I went into that liquor store. And they had bottles of whiskey in the back there, behind glass, at $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 for a bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And the Singapore dollar at the time was stronger than the Aussie dollar, a little bit weaker than the American dollar, but I mean, it's still tens of thousands of dollars for a bottle of whiskey. Sure. So now you don't have that in your shop unless someone comes to buy it, right? To be clear.
Yeah.
So of course the casino, attracts all the high rollers,
of course,
etc., etc. But that's what we're talking about here. This is the kind of stuff they would buy without thinking, right? These are people that have no physical desires left, nothing to strive for other than maybe being first at something or
having the most expensive something.
Yeah, exactly. Or being the first into space, like Bezos and Musk, for example. I mean, that's their race between the two of them. And other nations. So you got Elon, you got Bezos or Jeff, and then you got Russia, China, India, and America, and the European Union competing with those two guys, getting to space. And that's where we are. That's the world we inhabit. And now Donald Trump you could say, oh, well, he's a billionaire, but clearly he's got his heart in the right place. And all the people in his administration, they're not billionaires. They're just regular Joes. No, they're not. They're all billionaires. A lot of billionaires in there. Or multimillionaires. And just one thing before I throw it to my esteemed colleague here. Hexit, Dave. How is Hexit still in a job? How has he still got a job?
I don't know, the tattoos, maybe. I don't know, because, his greatest supporters are on Fox, because he used to be, as we all know, he used to work there. Is it important? I know it's rhetorical, and I'm still answering it anyway, because what do I care? I'm not sure, Mackie. I'm not sure. Is there an exam to keep your job? I don't know. I don't know. Has he done anything good? Well, if he did what is being suggested, then maybe that's a point. He gets a point for that. Has he turned up for work on time? That's probably another crucial thing.
Well done, you. You came to work on time. 2 days in a row.
And they were both work from home days, but don't worry about that. The traffic was terrible.
They're not worried that he drinks on the job, apparently. Do you hear about that?
No, all politicians drink on the job. Oh, that's a bit too broad. A lot of them. That. Remember in Australia, Mackie, that there's no restrictions over drinking on the job.
In Parliament, yeah, that's true.
Here in Australia, yeah.
I mean, if one of my guys drinks, then I had to let that person go. Believe it or not. So
I remember 30 years ago, 25 years ago, Mackie, there was a guy that we used to find asleep in the comms cupboard. Just saying. And you look at the tickets that he had to try and find where he was, and then you get to the cupboard where he's meant to be doing the work, and you open it up with the special key, and there he is asleep. So, there's functioning, and then there's a little less functioning, and then not at all functioning. I think there's a scale. Who am I to comment? I don't know, Mackie. I don't drink except for Bathurst. Like when I
but then you make up for the other.
I do. I make up for it. That's okay. It's not called binging at Bathurst. It's not called binging. It's just vodka, and I don't get too inebriated. I just like a drop there. It's fun, but for the most part, no, nothing else. So, Mackie, it's really weird on your video. You should rewatch this at the timestamp at 49 minutes in, because you zoom in. And then you zoom out and you go, ooh, and you shrink down. Yeah, it's crazy.
How cool is that?
I don't know if it's cool. I don't know.
I have no idea why that is, brother.
If you've watched this video and you've also noticed the same thing, do leave a comment below. And while I'm at it, follow us on Rumble if you can. I don't mean just watch us. I mean, hit the follow button so that we can get some more followers. We need to reach some lofty goals to get up there. If you have Spotify, you can find our shows there. But if you can like, share, comment, and subscribe to all of the platforms, that'd be fantastic. Does help us out. Helps with the algorithm, and it puts us out further and further. Gives us more reach for the station. Very important. Now you're shrinking again. Oh! You've nearly disappeared entirely behind. Ah, there he is.
I have no idea what's happening, but that's funny. I do have a funny line now running through my Skype. It's like a line that's running sort of through everything.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, I just can't see that. So that's okay.
No, you can't.
No, I can't.
Sort of cutting your left arm off, kind of.
Oh, really?
All right.
That's so weird.
It's a feature.
It's an undocumented feature from the old IT days. So what I've done here, I've made a little box for us to be in, like kind of side by side, with a combined background, where Mackie looks like he's on an office chair, zooming forward and backwards. That's great. And look, at least it's kind of entertaining. It is early days with our tech, and I do like the platform I use, but I'm not sure. This isn't a Teams thing that's occurring. This is a Skype thing that's occurring, and it could be priority over who's talking.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Now, bear in mind, we've got a staff of 20 people working in the background, so this is high production value, everyone. I mean, we've got 20 people. This is full time. We've got another 30 people part time working behind the scenes, lighting and makeup and all that, right? So it's not cheap, is what I'm saying. It's not cheap.
No.
Right? And these people, after 15 years, they want to get paid now. And I don't know how we're going to do it, but what? And we look. I think leaving them out of the cellar for a couple hours every day, that's pretty good.
A day? How are they going to get all the work done?
Oh, brother, it's okay. They do the work while they're walking through the yard. It's okay.
Oh, okay. As long as that
it's
happens.
just sunshine. Just sunshine, so they don't get scurvy.
I don't put those grow lights down there, and I got questioned when I bought them, but I put the grow lights down there just to give them some kind of light.
I need the most dense human nutrition capsules you have. The cheapest also, please.
We can stand them all vertically, one on top of the other.
It'll work.
That's what we can do.
Yeah, we're sleeping 15 across. That works.
Yeah, shoulders. That's what we call one of the guys.
Yeah, I'm amputated most shoulders. It's easier. Just take a chunk out. Also, today's shoulder soup. Yummy.
What has happened to our show today? So, look, I wanted to weigh in just for a minute on that Katy Perry, Jeff Bezos parabola that they flew up to the line and back. And there's so many memes out there. I'm not putting any on screen. But there's a guy saying, I bought petrol, so now I'm an oil magnet. Like he's filling his car up. I'm an oil magnet now. I bought some petrol. Or some gasoline. Just walk away. Leave the gasoline. So just because they did a parabola, it's like all this training and everything we had to do, they were at a sweet little education course for 2 days. 2 days about how to do their seatbelt up, and that's it. So then they wore those really nice looking outfits that hid all manner of problems, and I appreciate that they were all dressed very similarly. But just before it launches, there's a hand invisible through the window that looks like a mannequin. So were they really in it? Where's the footage from them taking off inside the capsule? As all the other past capsule launches have had footage there of them doing it. Did they just scream all the way, or had they all blacked out? Was it too embarrassing? Why? Or were they not there? Because when the capsule was on the ground, everyone says it's too clean, shouldn't be clean, should have some plasma burns or something. But it didn't go out of the atmosphere, so it didn't have to slow down. It wasn't doing 22,000 kilometers an hour. It just went up and came back again. It was like the vomit comet. Is really all it was. It remained in atmosphere. And when it landed, the door is meant to be sealed, and then Jeff comes up and puts the key in and releases the pressure from inside the vessel, and then they can open the door. But before he got the key out, the door, they opened it from the inside. Just, there you go. Oh, no, and then, we've got to close that door up again, and let's do it good for the cameras, shall we? Not realizing it was live to air, and there wasn't an edit. So it disappoints me that they should maybe fake it, but because of the risk of all of the high-risk people on board, maybe they faked it because of that. I don't know. Because Mickey, I'd only just finished watching a body language expert looking at the trio from the Apollo 11 mission in that post-mission interview where they look like their family have got, they're hostages, and they have to say exactly the right words. And there was one thing that Neil says he's asked a question, and his response was that he can detail everything up until the launch, and then he said it's just as our memories suggest. And he doesn't describe anything else other than low Earth orbit. From that point on, it's our memories that tell us what happened, not what we actually did. And when you watch it again with the lens that they were only in low Earth orbit, and you examine their answers rather than they went to the moon, because if they went to the moon, you ignore all these problems. But if you think it's only low Earth orbit, then you watch it, then it all becomes completely clear to you that that's all they achieved. So I'm not saying that they didn't go.
No, but they didn't actually go into outer space. Okay, and they didn't have a re-entry into the atmosphere.
Oh, this is the Bezos one. Yes, that's right.
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah.
They just didn't, because if they had, then the capsule wouldn't look as pristine as it did. It's just they just flew really, really high.
That's right.
Maybe
and
not.
their 0G was just a parabola, like the vomit.
Yeah. You can actually achieve it in a plane.
What's that I can hear?
Oh, jeez. Hey, this has been Platos Cave. Thank you so much for listening. We hope you enjoyed your hour with us. We will talk to you again on Sunday, if you have the time, on Platos Cave. Last time we do mind control there. Wrap it up and give you a few pointers. And don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. Someone's going to come up. But in the meantime, though,
be safe.